Days of opportunities are back in the market. We definitely see a lot of coins moving, and it's really great to see the volume coming back into this market. Look at this, we are $2.75 trillion market now. Just in recent video when we were talking, we were like $2.5 trillion. Remember, in this market cycle, we have been there where we were like $200 billion. And we were not moving. It felt like now we are going down, we are not moving. A lot of people were having that psychological impact. But right now, we are moving higher. And that's where you have the opportunity. Now, look at the daily trading volume here. You see Ether is like 20 billion. That's okay, that's great. Bitcoin is like around 80 billion. That's huge. Now we just come here, change it to a way where you see it with volume, which one has the higher volume, because XRP, even though it has ranked as 8th coin based on the market cap, the circulation. Now different guys have different opinion about this. My point here is XRP is ranked as 8, but based on volume, if you look at Cardano, if you look at Solana, if you look at other assets like BNB, which comes above in market cap, is way below. So their level of attention getting into this, the volume increasing, is changing the market. So if you get your eyes on this one, you will understand that yes, in general, all coins are getting volume, all coins are pumping. Some of them are pumping really crazy. So when you are going into the market, you just look at last 24 hours, which coin moved, which didn't. And you are like, okay, fine, you see Holo moving, you see Atom moving, you see a lot of different coins moving like Engine, Luna, a lot of coins, right? Now, if you are moving for a little bit smaller coin, the small caps, you see a lot of other coins doing exceptionally well. They break out, they come back, retest, they bounce. They break out, come back, retest, they bounce. So if you are in the right place, you're basically watching all of this. Say Atom. We had this opportunity call just a couple of days back and it broke out. Then for Holo, we just talked about it, right? It just broke out. So we were waiting for it and it went up. Then say for Engine, we had this. We were waiting for it to move above the moving average. It did break above that, came back and then moved out of it. So now when you are looking at this, it's clear, it's crystal. We have a lot of opportunity, and if you're taking benefit of that, the market gives you that idea to take a lot of profit into your portfolio. Now, why is this so important? When you are looking at the entire market here, say for example, you jump just into the XRP chart, you'll understand one stuff. The price is slow. Great. Now, what does that actually mean? Everyone wants this move to the upside. Believe me, everyone wants this upside move. But if you are entering after the first impulse, majority of your ROI is just gone. What do I mean by that? You take a measure of this to 33%. Great. Say if you have missed the first one, what are you ending up with? You are ending up with 160%. So you see the difference there. Now, in the similar aspect, you go on, check the second one. You take it from the bottom to the top, you get to see this, and now it's fine. What if you are missing the first rally here? So you are taking just above the breakout, you are a breakout trader. That's kind of half. So that is where the ROI comes in for those who are patiently holding. Now you come zoom in, look at the chart in a different way, and you see like, okay, Ether is breaking above. Now that's important because at this time when Bitcoin on a monthly is moving above, now that's an all-time high on a monthly chart. If you are breaking above, now we have like 3-4 days in this month, and if you are breaking through that and closing above it, that is a lot of bullish news. I don't care what others say, I don't care what you think, but the chart says we are moving up. Why? RSI, MACD are pointing you to the episodes, and RSI is entering into that overbought territory. Go back in the history of Bitcoin. Look at whenever the RSI entered into the strong bought territory, the overbought territory, the buyers are so euphoric there. You see a number of candles followed by that are green bullish. So if that's happening, as we talked about, $78,000 to $85,000, you're gonna move in that range. Then you may have a correction towards 60, 65, and then burst towards $100,000. Now that's the second wave of it. Now you'll again get correction, you'll again move to the upside. That's how the market works. So when Bitcoin is doing that, you are going to see Ether at $6,000, Ether at $8,000. Now from here, yes, I agree, that's just 100% till $8,000. But remember, this asset at its bottom of the cycle was like $100, say $85, $88. So from there, you're calculating it like $800, $8,000. That's an 100x for an asset like Ether with that market cap, with that size. Now, if you want to look at the basic sense, the common sense, which is not the common practice, what can we do? But you go to any asset which is on that ERC20 network, you try to transfer it from one of your wallet to another one. If you are lucky, you'll be having different options, right? You can look at, say, Solana network. You can look at like TRC20. The Tron, Solana, whatever you are going to compare it with ERC20, you'll be surprised. Say you see a fee like 20, 23, whatever in ERC, and at the same time you see $1 in the others. So you're like, okay, that's 1:20. That's a huge difference. So when the price is at this level, you are getting that. When the price is moving even higher, the network is going to get congested. You have a lot of new projects coming on top of that, and they are getting volume. The network is again going to get congested. What would you literally do to do your settlement? Go back in history. Look at 2017. We had days when Ether was pushing settlements through XRP ledger. That's what you're going to see, because there's a lot of attention going through those tokens. There's a lot of attention moving into these criteria. Then they need to settle this, otherwise it's just congested and done. So you are going to see a lot of volume coming in for XRP. Now this is technically sound for XRP, because at the time when you see the MACD is bouncing, RSI is pushing from that support level to the upside, and you have a lot of room to the upside. So when you have a doubt of where you're going to take profit, do understand this. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. So as you just saw here, you're going to have a lot of movement in the price here for XRP. So whether you're looking at $7, whether you're looking at $12 or $20, you definitely have to look at the indicators at the same time, whether to take completely out or not. That decision is important. Why is it so? Because it can go a little bit higher and your mind is like, okay, I'm greedy, I'm going to wait. But that's the hard part, where you are still taking profits, but you are not completely out of the market. And if the price goes up, you are going heavy taking the profit out. What will you do that time? It's simple. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD. If they are through the sky, okay, just follow your exit strategy. If they have room to the upside, hold on, have patience, do follow your strategy, but don't go heavy at the top. Follow the strategy, and when you reach your targets, you are, say, 60% out, and you still have like 40% in the market. So when it gets extended based on the indicators, you can still take the profits out. So that's on a macro, for example, on a monthly, right? When you step in, zoom in, and look at this, this is a weekly chart. So on a weekly, you now see at the RSI, which is bouncing again. We have a resistance. Yes, I agree, we do have a resistance, but as you move above that, we are going to see a breakout. Now that breakout should be clear for everyone, because when we break higher, that's when more volume comes in. As we just saw here, when you're going down, the volatility is super low because people are not interested in this. Then when you start moving up and people see that, okay, that coin is moving, they're just jumping into another coin which is moving. So at that time, if it's XRP, a lot of new people are coming in. So those who are holding on to it and not selling it for this price are already drying up the supply. And the new people who are coming in is pushing the price up. That's what happens. So if you are that guy who bought in at this low of 0.5, and others are coming in with the breakout of $1.2, $1.3, who makes the higher ROI? Say you're the guy who holded on to this even at 0.2, who's making huge ROI here. That is the real perspective. So that's on a weekly chart. Now you step into a 3-day chart and you see this frame clearly. That's a cup and handle pattern on one side. Now I'll say it's only like a 50-50 probability, whereas the other one is a definite channel. Both are like in a 50 to 60% probability, where this one is 50%. Now why am I highlighting this too much? Because with this you get a rising trend line in the MACD and RSI, and it's near breakout in the RSI. So with that, you zoom in. Okay, let me go in deep. Let me really go into a 4-hour chart to see where the price is right now. So when you get closer, you see price came back to the moving average. We bounced. Right now, we are at that level whether we are deciding we are going to break out or stay back in. Are we going to break higher or stay back in? That has always been the case there. It's doubtful for a lot of people, but understand, as we break higher, we are going to get volume. The RSI is showing that the chances are high that we can break higher. So once we break higher and the market moves, your ROI is diminishing from that point. Yes, definitely there would be questions regarding what you are going to follow, how you are going to look at. You can use a variety of different stuff. This is technical analysis, right? You go with a different analyst, you're going to get a different approach, and there is a lot of it. You come here, look at the indicators, you see hundreds of them. Now the question is, which one of them is the perfect one? Because there is no one perfect stuff. That's why researchers go through, do their work, and come up with a new indicator which they think is going to work completely fine. So if it's for me looking at different indicators, I'm going to check different stuff. So I've been getting personal messages about different indicators, and I'm like, okay, fine. Some tend to work fine in the shorter term, whereas they're not that much reliable on the longer side of it. So you take this as for Bitcoin here, you came close. Okay, that's not bad, but say 40,000 and the top of 65,000 has a difference. It's a little bit off, right? Say from 40,000, 60,000 is like 50% more. Now that's on Bitcoin, right? Now we go to different indicators, different charts, you're going to see different ideas there. Similar stuff, if you're going to plot it, say for this one, what are you going to see here? You just plot it from the top to the bottom, and you see a roof somewhere like 180,000. So if I'm to look at for the entire cycle, say from the top to the bottom of the cycle, say I come somewhere close to 77,000, 75,000, great. So if I'm to look at the individual stuff, it's showing me even higher. So now you can actually go into various different assets and use different indicators. So say for example, if you use the same stuff on XRP on a weekly, say on a smaller scale, you may be able to reach close to it, right? Say you're taking the second wave, which was like 75% of correction. Now you take that same indicator here, which is kind of famous for a lot of guys, seems interesting. You see like it's showing you somewhere around $1.5, but the price went to $3.8. So if you're a trader on a shorter time, say on that shorter time frame, if you're trading with a 4-hour chart, a daily chart, it seems to work fine. But when you're actually moving on to macro level stuff, when you're thinking like a real investor, looking at the macro trend, investing, lower risk, all those kind of textbook pattern stuff, it's really hard. Now, what people doesn't understand here is most of the indicators, not most yet, every indicator is created based on the information from price. Whether it's the bottom, whether it's the top, whether it's the long wick, close, open and everything, it's taken from the price and used into formulating different indicators. So if you understand some of them and it seemed to work for you, great, just follow it. But first step you have to understand is, okay, when you are seeing there can be a breakout, there can be a possibility this asset is going to run higher, what's important? If majority of other traders are looking at this, because if they see this as an opportunity, what happens? It's supply and demand, right? It's common sense. So if the demand increases at that particular time, price goes higher. So if there is an indicator, say you created an indicator, great, you saw one opportunity, perfect, but no one else sees that, what happens? It's that you buy it, but majority are not buying, and so the demand is not actually going high. It doesn't actually give you that much of reliability. Where you look at RSI, you look at MACD, and you kind of see 40% of traders around the globe in all different class of asset class, you see them using this. That's why we tend to follow this, and for us it's working, right? When I'm in Forex, when I'm in commodities, when I'm in crypto, it seems to work fine for us. So we are following this. Now, why am I explaining this? There's a lot of questions coming on regarding which indicator should I use. It's completely up to you. You have to check which one works for you. You have to check which one shows the price. So now let's just look at the price and say, okay, you're going to just follow the price action and you're going to just follow the trend lines. Now here you're not actually trying to use any type of indicators. You're just looking at the price, how the price of this asset moved with respect to time, say at what different times price actually moved. So now right here you are at the support. We have been supported there previously, we have bounced even when we were below the moving average. Now last time when we were above the moving average, we got bounced from that same range and it's still in play. So if it's to bounce from there, you are moving towards $7, $8, $10 mark, which is great for an asset which is being screwed by SEC. We already ran up like 15x, with SEC case there. Now another 10 to 15 is not impossible. And if you think it's impossible, you can move out of this asset. That's great. But personally, I believe we are going to go much higher in this asset. Yes, I do agree that in this asset class, you're going to see a lot of different assets bursting through. In this asset class, you're going to see a lot of random coins moving through the sky. And it would be really confusing to see and locate every one of it, each and every one of this. Because when you go through these assets at a time, you actually see some of them with zero liquidity. You actually see some of them pumping 100%, but there is no liquidity in it. So if you enter, it's hard to sell. Now, at the other point, you're coming here and you see, okay, this asset has been doing great. You look at the liquidity and it's, the difference is huge. You see just $422 in buy and around $5,000 in sell. So you are like, okay, so right now, if you are going to buy it, you have a lot of sellers. It's easy to buy. But at the same time, if you're going to sell it to take your profit, you don't have much of a buyers at the other end. So who are you going to sell this to? So that kind of common sense needs to be there. Now, if you are a guy with a huge portfolio, that's so much important, because you're not going to sell $5,000, $10,000 worth it. You're going to sell $100,000, $50,000 a minimum, right? So in that case, it should be taken care of before you enter into these positions. Now, once you enter into these positions and you're seeing like, okay, say for example, Veracity here, you see like 1.42 million in buy and 700 in sale. So it's like, okay, there is a lot of buyers than sellers. What does it mean? Supply and demand. So the price basically needs to move up. And that's what's happening there. We were talking about this just a month ago, when it was like 0.04. Now, near that 4-cent range, we were talking, okay, this is going to blast, this is going to go through roof. You can look at our previous videos where we were talking about that, and we already doubled, right? And the market is just starting, and we have doubled. So these are something which you can take care of when you are entering into any trade. Once you have that assurity that the market thinks this, and the market is moving there, that's why we say follow the money. If you want to make money, follow the money. Because you see, say for example, here in RSR, 2.35 million in buy and 2 million in sell. Yeah, buyers are great there, but not like Veracity. Here you see like 1.4 million in buy and half of that in sell. So it's not only that particular asset, you can go through individually and find assets which are so huge in this particular scenario, right? Now, come back, check their fundamentals. You go individually, say VRA, we were looking at it, and it's like a gaming side of it. Great, it has partnership with EA Games, a lot of different stuff. So before entering, make sure there is liquidity, make sure there is some kind of fundamentals. You're not entering to some project just to give money to a random guy who created a random asset, right? You're entering there because of the fundamentals and technicals, and then all the factors involved as an investor. That is going to add value into your portfolio, 5x, 10x, 50x, like that. So if you are looking for those kind of values, you can definitely look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, where we post stuff like these. If you want to take benefit of these calls where we are breaking out, we're going through our target, you make 50%, 100%, but these are like a week or two trade. Some does like 5x, 10x, that's a different story. But if you are trading on a shorter term, you should know when it's gonna be a good buy. You should know where to exit it. You go look at this particular asset, CRV. Say for example, we were talking about 5.2 as a profit level, right? So you go in, you take that, you move on to say a daily chart and look at the price, and you kind of see that the price went to 5.2 and it dropped. Now, I'm not making this stuff up, right? This is like how the market behaved. 5.206 was our target as we were breaking higher. You now come here and you take this and you come to that range where you understand the price went till that range. That is how you try to look at the market. Now, once you set your take profit, like say this is 100% of my target. So I'm going to put my target at say 80, 85, 90, 95. So increasingly you're averaging up at the top, and that makes you more efficient in the market, because not everyone is making money. Believe me, not everyone is making money. And if you are making money in this market, you are that top 10%, because 90% lose money in any market, especially in crypto market, which is super risky. You need to be careful of what you're doing. So guys, I definitely believe you received value for your time here, and if you did, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. If you have kind of different questions, I'll try to respond through. You can put that in the comment section below. And if you want to get these kind of updates again for different assets, breakout calls and all, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.